Guys, listen, I'm about to get in trouble. I want your response. I really do. I really want you to respond, whether it's negative or positive, because this is a big one for you guys. Small one for me. And that's this. Are bench presses necessary for you to maximize your growth? No. You're thinking, that was quick. It was quick because there's no doubt in my mind it's not necessary. It's not necessary for your growth. And many times you'll hear people say, when you bench press, don't go all the way down. And part of the reason is it's damaging to the shoulder joint if it's not done correctly. The other thing about bench press is you're limited to that bar from getting full range of motion. When you come down that bench, the bar touches your chest, and you may have a little more range of motion that you can take your elbows deeper. If your posture is bad, you're automatically gonna do the bench press wrong. If you walk around and your shoulders are forward, you're more apt to rotate the shoulder forward, and that's gonna damage the joint over time. So as you're coming down, the chest should be open, wide, and then you close the chest on the way up. The chest is made in an arc, so you wanna stay within that arc formation. If your shoulders are rotated forward, it's hard for you to stay in the arc formation because what comes natural, you are going to do. Where you are strongest is where you're always going to revert back to. So if you're coming down and the bench press and your shoulders are like this, you're pushing against that joint. If you open your chest, you're working with the joint. So as I said, the chest is made in an arc. The full peak contraction is not here, but it's here. That's where the full peak contraction. If you look at a bird's chest is the largest, leanest muscle group on its body, and he flies in an arc. He has the same structure as we do. He has a ball in the socket right here. If he goes against that joint, or he flies any different that he does, he destroys this joint, he loses his life. So his whole life is built around flying in an arc motion. Same thing we ought to do when we work in the chest. But because we're humans and we do different things with our joints and our structures, we lift this way, we do all sorts of things. But in training, we need to rehab and repair some of the damage that we're doing. Even though there's no pain there, we're still going outside of that joint structure, and we're creating scar tissue in there. If you go to a physical therapist, you go to a chiropractor, he'll tell you some of the movements that we do are absolutely dangerous for that joint, and we do it long enough and heavy enough, we're gonna create some damage in there. So that I know for a fact. There's no question on that. Now I'm gonna show you a bench press without a bar, and I'm gonna use this piece of equipment here. Okay, now see the full stretch, shoulders back, and then I'm extending all the way out. I'm opening my chest and squeezing all the way out. But if you look at most people, when you go to the gym next time, watch for this. It comes back, then the shoulder rotates forward like bad news, guys. And then here. The objective is to get the chest open. The important thing is not how far you get your elbows back, but how wide you can open your chest and how much you can get those shoulders back and open. More like that, but the movement that you want to build the chest is an arc movement. It starts here, open wide, concentrating on the pec delt tie-ins, and watch those shoulders come forward. all the way through. I'm here, now peak contraction. Just like that. That's the movement that you want to build the chest. So are the bench presses necessary? Bench presses are not the best exercise for overall chest development, but it's a common exercise. It's an exercise that people love to do. It's a relaxing exercise. You get to lay on your back and do this thing called the bench press. And it's an exercise that you can measure your strength. I mean, you know, with a cable crossover or a peg deck machine, it's real hard to measure your strength. But with the bench press, you can go up 10 pounds. Man, I am stronger. I would use it for that purpose only. But personally, I'm not measuring my strength. I haven't done a regular barbell bench press in years. Because it's not necessary. I used to bench press in competition. And my heaviest bench press was 465 because my body is made for it. My body's made for push-ups. My body is made for bench press. Fairly thick chest, short arms. I mean, when I buy shirts, my shirt comes down here. I have to get special shirts made. So what I do is, because my arms are so short, it's a short range of motion that I have to flow in. But if my arms are long, I've got to go all the way down and all the way up. That makes it harder for some of you guys. So I have an advantage there. But bench press, absolutely not necessary to build a nice, thick, massive chest. God bless you till next time.